After his heart stopped beating and his left eye sparked with fire, this young man woke up from the dead. Havim was startled to realize he had returned to 3 days before the apocalypse, and today was July 1st, 2028. He looked in the mirror, unable to believe he had been reborn. His right eye had also turned yellow, which seemed to be the remnant of the flame in his eye when he was burned before. Quickly grabbing a jacket to wear, the young man immediately went out. Who could have thought that in 3 days, everything would be destroyed? When the apocalypse arrived, a large portion of humanity turned into zombies and strange gods appeared. Although superpowered individuals also emerged among humans, they were fundamentally unable to fight back in time. Cities turned into hell, humans turned into demons, and they fought over resources to survive. Havim's girlfriend, Nalan, and his best friend, the Quan, betrayed him without a second thought. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. A call came from Nalan. As soon as Havim answered the phone, he heard her complaints. Why did you take so long to answer? Do you want to break up? The young man was fed up with this scene. Whenever she was displeased, she would threaten to break up. In the past, Havim would panic and start coaxing her, but not anymore. Havim made a cool move, hitting her right in the face with his words. Fine, let's fucking break up. I'm tired. I don't want to serve you anymore. Goodbye. Havim decisively put the phone in his pocket. In this quiet period, he had to seize the time. First, he would handle important matters. Elsewhere, Nalan was in bed with the Quan. After the call, she angrily threw her phone. Who the hell does he think he is, hanging up on me? Could he have found out about us? Nalan hesitated, thinking it was impossible. That idiot revolves around me every day. If I say east, he wouldn't dare go west. How could he possibly find out about you and me? The Quan pretended to comfort her, with a face that couldn't be more devious. Come on, don't be angry. My old man just texted me, telling me to collect some family heirloom antiques with spiritual energy, saying something big might be about to happen. Nalan hugged him, looking puzzled. Antiques? I remember Havim has a family heirloom token. It looks very ugly, seems to have a few hundred years of history. The Quan looked very happy and asked where it was. Nalan enthusiastically replied, It's with Havan, Havim's younger sister, right now. He's acting like a madman now. Just wait until he calms down. He'll naturally come crawling back to me. At that time, I'll just tell him to give me the token. And just like that, the two of them continued their affair. Elsewhere, Havim had also gone to find his sister to ask about the ancient token. Havan looked very pretty, smiling brightly. Why do you suddenly need this? You even took a cab 30 kilometers to get here. Aren't you going to work today? Seeing the strangeness in Havim's eyes, Havan looked very worried, but the young man just asked with a tense expression, Sis, do you trust me? With bright eyes, Havan affirmed, Of course. The two of us have relied on each other until now. I trust you completely and unconditionally. Whatever you do, it's for my own good. While stroking his sister's head, he instructed, Then go pack your things at school now and come home with me immediately. Without a hint of doubt, Havan obeyed and arranged to meet him in 2 hours. Again, watching his sister skip away, Havim resolved to protect her well this time. He must let her survive completely intact. The moment he held the token in his hand, Havim realized this token was different from before. After his left eye squinted, it suddenly shot fire straight at the token. The burning token sucked him inside. In front of Havim was a tower crisscrossed with many chains. This was the great vile prison, filled with demonic beasts and evil spirits. Every creature here looked terrifying and emanated an incredibly mysterious aura. Suddenly, many colorful lightning bolts struck inside the great vile prison, targeting the monsters. To be more precise, this was heavenly lightning, the thing that suppressed monsters. While he was bewildered, someone appeared in front of Havim. This girl smiled slyly. Hee, are you scared already? Havim wondered about her identity, and she introduced herself. I am Sutai, greetings, king of the vile prison. Tens of thousands of years ago, the celestial emperor summoned the 12 high immortals, Taibai, the 3 pure ones, Guanyin, Fushi, and the mysterious woman to forge the demon-suppressing pagoda, which is also the great vile prison. Over time, countless vile beasts and sinful gods who committed heinous crimes were locked inside, suffering every day, their souls burned by heavenly lightning. The great vile prison token that Havim is holding is the only key that can open the door. The young man was bewildered. Is this why you call me the master of the vile prison? Immediately after, Sutai invited him. Sir, would you like to go in and see your prisoners? For more detailed situations, this servant will observe and report to you. How about it? After the young man accepted, the two of them began to enter, but something blocked their way. Immediately, Havim's left eye was activated, creating a fiery power that blocked all barriers. Witnessing this scene, Sutai couldn't help but marvel. Truly formidable. Prison Master, you indeed have the netherworld fire in your eye, which is why you were able to reopen the netherworld and be reborn, right? Havim was startled, realizing this girl was the one who had spoken in his ear in his past life. Sutai then shyly admitted, this servant has a deep connection with the Hav family. As the spirit guide of the Great Vile Prison, I naturally didn't want to see you harmed by others. Your despair and anger before your death in your past life helped you awaken your superpower and activate the netherworld fire. This servant was just going with the flow. Havim looked at his flaming hand and finally understood. So this was the reason he was reborn. Now that the apocalypse has come, he has awakened his superpower. This time, everything was different. Havim coolly asked Sutai to lead the way, and she was as obedient as a puppy. The Great Vile Prison is divided into 5 levels. With the prison master's current soul power, the prison doors you can light up are the limit of where you can set foot. The higher you go, the stronger the demonic creatures imprisoned there. Your soul power must also be enhanced to see them. Currently, only this area is lit up. Havim looked at the monster imprisoned before him and was utterly shocked. This is the vile beast that Tong the Quan rode in my past life. Before anything else, it opened its mouth wide, threateningly, as if it was about to eat him alive. Its 2 eyes glowed red, but when it took a closer look at Havim, the beast also knew how to be two-faced. Oh my, is this the new prison master? So young and talented. It's been several thousand years. We've finally waited for your arrival. If you have any instructions, just say the word. Sutai was also surprised by the bear's flip-flopping, which was thinner than rice paper. That's you, Black Bear, showing no face in front of the prison master. The bear kept pouting its lips and acting petty. Havim didn't move, just stood there, feeling nauseated. In another cage, a monstrous eagle with blazing red eyes showed contempt. We're all 1,000-year-old demon kings, locked up for a while, and now you've turned into dogs. What's so worthy about the prison master? He's just relying on that token. If you want this old man to submit, even 1,000 years of heavenly lightning won't do a damn thing. As for Havim, he was still speechless. First Sutai, then the bear spirit. The demonic creatures related to this prison were all legendary monsters. Standing in front of the eagle's cage, Havim had a feeling, this appearance of his, could he be Legenzi? Sutai covered her mouth, laughing excitedly. As expected of the prison master, you can tell who he is with just a glance. The world's monsters are divided into ranks: pawn, soldier, general, marshal, king, and saint. Currently, the prison master is on the lowest level of the demon-suppressing pagoda, where general-level criminals are imprisoned. The higher up the tower, the stronger the imprisoned monsters. It's said that the highest level even has saint-level sinful gods. This servant once heard Lady Nuwa lament that god-level existences once walked this world, but they were destroyed by time. I hope the prison master will work harder, level up soon, and take control of the entire prison. After hearing this, Havim felt that this tower was even more powerful than he had imagined. Just the general level on the bottom floor, and the vile beasts are already this powerful. It's hard to imagine who is imprisoned on the top floor. Who is imprisoned? He said that, but in reality, the young man was thinking and had his own plans. It doesn't matter who they are. In the future, they will all be my strength. In this era, I must constantly become stronger. Sutai smiled brightly and continued. The prison master's current soul power can only reach this part of the prison. You need to absorb more soul power, turn it into strength to light up more rooms, and advance to higher levels. Soul power and superpowers are different. Superpowers need to be absorbed from zombies and crystal cores, while soul power can only be obtained by destroying gods. In 3 days, the gods of the heavens will appear. That's when Havim will go hunting. For now, first, prepare everything well. This is the Antique Street campus. In his past life, someone accidentally bought an immortal binding rope here. From then on, they became a powerful, superpowered individual. Havim was trying to recall his memory. If he remembered correctly, this treasure was still here. The energy emanating from the antiques here could not escape his netherworld fire. This man is Tong Tien, head of the Tong family, Tong the Quan's father. Walking beside him is Old Hong, an antique appraisal expert. Seeing him from behind, Tong Tien recognized him. Isn't that Havim? Why is he here? He began to recall a past conversation with his son. The Quan, the friends you make must be beneficial to you, understand? His son had affirmed very confidently. Don't worry, Dad. Havim is just a fool who values loyalty. He's easy to deceive. Master Tong Tien stroked his chin. Old Hong, the antique expert, also wondered, What is it, Mr. Tong? Tong Tien turned his head away. It's nothing, just saw an acquaintance. Old Hong, let's go find the antiques first. We'll be relying on your keen eye. Haha, rest assured, Mr. Tong, this old man only has this little bit of skill. Unfortunately, most of these are just handicrafts. After paying respects to his ancestors at the ancestral home a few days ago, Tong Tien kept dreaming that his ancestors told him to search for antiques and other things. Well, it's better to believe it than not. Today, he specially invited Old Hong to appraise. He must succeed. As they were walking, Old Hong was suddenly startled and delighted upon seeing a gourd. The old man ran over. There it is. Old Hong looked bewildered, not expecting someone to beat him to it. Havim negotiated, Boss, how much for this? Before anything, the shop owner was secretly happy, thinking another sucker had arrived. He started to boast. This gourd is from the Ming dynasty. It's worth at least this much, 10,000 yuan. Knowing he was being ripped off, Havim confronted him directly. 10,000 is too expensive. Is this all there is? Look, boss, this is already cracked, and you're using a torn rope to cover it up. In my opinion, this is just a handicraft, worth 100 yuan at most. Seeing his bluff called, and knowing this fish wouldn't be easy to catch, the shop owner shooed Havim away. 100 yuan? Go, don't waste my business time. After getting the red rope, Havim also left, as that was his target anyway. Tong Tien and Old Hong now had room to negotiate. Boss, let me take a look. Please, take your time. Who would have thought that this small, inconspicuous rope was the magical treasure, the immortal binding rope? Next, he would just watch the two of them perform. In his past life, Havan was captured by the entire Tong family. Besides stealing the token, they also used her blood for sacrifice. This time, he would absolutely not let them off. As for Old Hong, after examining the gourd, he nodded repeatedly. There's a faint spiritual energy on this gourd. It's been around for a long time. Tong Tien was about to ask the owner about the gourd when Havim, standing behind, greeted him first. Uncle Tong, so it's you. You looked familiar earlier. Are you also strolling through the antique street? Tong Tien also pretended to have just recognized him. It's Havim? I didn't expect you to be interested in antiques too. That's right. I heard from Quan that your family has an antique. I'd like to talk to you about it in a bit. Out of nowhere, Havim started playing dirty, shouting as if it were real. Uncle Tong, your family is so rich. Why are you specifically buying this gourd? Could it be that this gourd is really that precious? After attracting attention, many people flocked over. Isn't that Old Hong from the antique circle? Why is he appraising it too? It seems this is a genuine item. This gourd seems to be valuable. They started bidding excitedly. Boss, you're asking for 10,000, right? I'll offer 12,000. I'll offer 20,000. The boss was dizzy with joy, while Tong Tien was furious. All of you, shut up. I was here first. Don't just raise the price randomly. The greedy boss made a blunt statement, saying whoever offered the highest price would get it. After a struggle, Tong Tien ended up spending 170,000 yuan. He looked at Havim, who was stretching, relaxing, and humming, and felt like vomiting blood. Damn it, I could have gotten this for just 10,000, but that Havim brat made me spend so much more. Right after, Havim acted innocent and turned back to ask, Uncle Tong, you said you were curious about my family's antique? He replied immediately, Yes, I heard from the Quan that your family has an heirloom token. Can you let me take a look? Havim appeared very easygoing. Of course, it's a treasure. After seeing the token, Old Huang's eyes lit up, and he expressed his desire to hold it. After making others covet it, the young man bluntly refused. Of course not. This is my family's heirloom. How can I just let you people see it? Tong Tien, understanding Havim's personality through his son, lowered his tone to flatter him. Little Vim, you and the Quan are so close. Just let your uncle take a look. Havim made a blunt statement. The Quan? Sorry, I don't know him. If there's nothing else, I'll be leaving. Tong Tien became flustered, trying to think of a way to see it. Hey, wait, what will it take for you to let us see it? Havim got straight to the point. Transfer money. 1 minute for 10,000. Transfer me 50,000, and you can look for 5 minutes. Unable to believe Havim would extort money like this, he became very annoyed. Are you serious? To pique their curiosity, the young man threatened to leave if they didn't transfer the money. Tong Tien suppressed his anger and agreed. Fine, I'll transfer. After the transaction was successful, Havim casually tossed the token to Old Hong. Tong Tien really did transfer the money. As soon as he received the funds, Havim began to plan for the future. First, stock up on water, then food. There are many empty cells in the Great Vile prison. He could just pick one to store supplies. Sutai also showed off. Prison Master, any item placed in here will be preserved in its original state. The same goes for live animals. This servant wants to eat chicken. The young man began to list all the things he needed to buy, and it was a ton of stuff. Those who didn't know better might think he was planning to open a farm. After just a short while of shopping, his account notified him. Insufficient balance. TSK, money really doesn't last long. The young man went back to Tong Tien to demand more. Are you done looking? 5 minutes are up. One more time. Tong Tien got straight to the point, suggesting, Havim, can you sell this token too? Me? The young man nodded in agreement and named his price. Of course. The price is 10 million. Their excitement turned to shock when they heard the price. 10 million? Seeing their shock, Havim snatched the token back. What's wrong? Uncle Tong, this token has been passed down for 1,000 years. It's definitely an antique. 10 million really isn't expensive. If you don't want to buy it, I have things to do, so I'll be leaving. Just as Havim walked a short distance, Old Hong tried to persuade him. Mr. Tong, that token is indeed a valuable antique, worth at least 500,000. He's asking for an exorbitant price. Should we try to negotiate a bit? In my opinion, we can get it for 100,000. With a not-so-happy expression, Tong Tien sullenly told Old Hong he could leave. Immediately after, he called his son. The Quan, take a few people from the clan and act immediately. Find Havim and his sister. Bring back both the token and them. Tong Tien gritted his teeth. That little brat dares to make things difficult for me. The ancestors sent me a dream, telling me that besides searching for antiques, I also need to prepare the fresh blood of a young girl for a ritual. I was hesitating before. Havim, you brought this dead end upon yourself. Havim happened to feel a malicious energy directed at him. Haha, is this killing intent meant for me? Good. I was afraid you wouldn't dare to make a move. It's a pity I couldn't scam more money, but that's fine. Debts must be collected bit by bit. Immediately after, Havim moved to his sister's location and they went home together. Just then, Havan's teacher came running out in a hurry. She was Bakhti Nan, Havan's homeroom teacher. Seeing her teacher out of breath, Havan didn't forget to ask, Ms. Bach, why are you out here? The teacher replied with a hint of reproach. You're asking me? Little Van, why did you suddenly leave school? Do you know there's a very important exam tomorrow that will affect your future? Havim began to speak up for his sister. Ms. Bach, I'm the one who brought Little Van home. I'm very sorry. She needs to take a temporary leave from school. You're her brother? Little Van is the best student in our class. I heard her parents passed away and her brother raised her. I initially thought her brother was very mature, but I didn't expect him to be so thoughtless. I am Bakhti Nan, Little Van's homeroom teacher. I do not agree with you letting her take a leave of absence. She has a bright future. She shouldn't miss out like this. Havim tried to speak to de-escalate the situation. It's not that serious. We're just going home to handle some matters. The teacher still seemed very upset and disagreed. What matter is so important? The earth isn't exploding, so school doesn't stop. In short, students need to. Havim suddenly moved closer and lightly touched the teacher's shoulder, making her face blush. All right, Ms. Bach, thank you. You really are a good teacher. Therefore, as a thank you, I'll give you a piece of advice. After you get back, try to stock up on as much food, water, medicine, and weapons as possible. Most importantly, prepare a lot of shanching pills. It can help you overcome difficulties. Bakhtin froze. What on earth are you talking about? Stocking up on things? You make it sound like the earth is really about to explode. Phew, I hope Little Van is okay. This is Havim's home. His sister also seemed to guess that something big was about to happen for him to go to such lengths. Havim didn't hide anything and firmly promised to protect his sister to the end. Then, he put the token around his sister's neck. You wear this. I'm going out for a bit. No matter who comes, don't open the door. Havan obeyed immediately. Okay, I'll make dinner then. Remember to come back early to eat. In fact, with the token on Little Van, he could sense her situation. Now, the first thing to do was to get some money. Just as the elevator reached the first floor and Havim stepped out, Nalan was on the phone with the Quan, plotting, what? Havan isn't at school. Then you guys go to Havim's house first. He can run, but he can't hide. The Quan on the other end of the line replied, got it. You just hold him there. We'll be there soon. With an extremely flirtatious and sexy demeanor, Nalan stepped out, smiling. Havim, did you miss me? The Quan said he wants to take you out for a late-night snack. He'll be over later. Not only did he not bother to reply, but the young man also showed great contempt, pushing her away. Seeing this, Nalan was probably shocked and spoke up. Hey, Havim, what's your problem? You don't really want to break up with me, do you? Stop sulking. I know you're just jealous. Aren't I here to find you? The young man replied with words that couldn't be more hurtful. Sorry, just the thought of ever being your boyfriend makes me sick. Please stay away from me. Being rejected so harshly for the first time made her feel unaccustomed, and she yelled, Don't you push your luck. As Havim walked out, he continued to provoke her. Oh my, someone's face fell on the ground. Aren't you going to pick it up before someone steps on it? Havim, where are you going? Get back here. Havim nonchalantly replied, I'm going to sell the house. He even held up the property deed. Nalan experienced one shock after another. What? Sell the house? Isn't that your only house? You said you'd use it as our marital home. The young man stuck his hands in his pockets, giving a nonchalant reason. I'm short on cash now, so I have to sell it cheap. What? You want to buy it? Nalan was so angry she could spit blood, thinking to herself, what the hell is wrong with him? He suddenly became so cold, and now he wants to sell the house. This house was left to him by his parents. It's in a great location, worth at least $3 million on the market. If it weren't for this house, why would I have dated him? Nalan smiled and asked tentatively, So how much do you want to sell it for? Havim stroked his chin and said, The final price is $1 million. Unbelievable. That house was being sold so cheaply. Nalan began to think that Havim was in big trouble and had to sell the house to pay off debts. Knowing Nalan was following him, Havim relaxed and asked, Well, do you want to buy it? If not, I'll sell it through an agent. Such a great deal. I want to snatch it up too. She replied hastily, I want it, of course I want it, but I don't have enough money right now. Can I give you a $300,000 down payment and then pay the rest slowly? Havim didn't let Nalan touch him, pulling his hand back. Who told you anything about installments? You think I treat money like trash? You have to pay the full $1 million in cash, not a single cent less. Nalan thought, the Quan will be bringing people to find Havim soon. In any case, Havim is as good as dead. Even if she gives him $1 million, he'll have to spit it back out. The most important thing now is to trick Havim into completing the house transfer procedures first. Thinking this, Nalan sealed the deal. Fine, $1 million it is. Let's go to the real estate transaction center downtown immediately. Nalan then called to report, Mom, don't worry, I'm just buying a house. I got a great deal. The money will come back. Her parents also looked down on Havim. You tell me, dating that poor guy Havim, and now you got to spend your own money to buy his house. That's our family's entire savings. Nalan smirked deviously and affirmed, Mom, transfer the money to me now, and I'll call you back. Before long, he will disappear forever. As soon as he hung up, Havim turned back and asked, Is it done? I'll only sign if there's enough cash. She replied sweetly, Here it is, let me transfer it to you. But in reality, she was gloating, only afraid that he wouldn't have a life to spend it. Just like that, with a ding from the phone, Havim received $1 million. Only he knew that when the apocalypse arrived, the house would instantly lose its value. And if they lost this $1 million, they would miss their last chance for survival. Nalan maintained her phony demeanor. Haha, I'm so happy. Havim, let's go to your place. We have to celebrate a little. We really do need to celebrate properly. In another development, for thugs, the Quan's men were on their way to Havim's place that I just asked around. Havim brought Havan home this afternoon. Before he gets back, let's go up first and with his little sister. Let's have a deep exchange. While Havan was still busy preparing food, the token hanging around her neck also lit up. The Quan brazenly called out at the door. Havan, open up. It's me, Brother the Quan. Hearing the name of an acquaintance, Havan didn't think much of it and ran to the door, peeking out. Brother the Quan, why are you here? My brother isn't home. The Quan acted very friendly and replied, Ah, I know. He went to buy hot pot ingredients and told me to come up. First, hurry and open the door. It's very hot outside. Havan believed him and was about to open the door, but remembered her brother's words before he left. No matter who comes, don't open the door. Havan tried to stay calm, stepped back, and said loudly, About that, Brother the Quan, why don't you wait for my brother to come back before you come over? Unable to keep his composure, the Quan guy immediately flared up. No way. Little sister Havan, are you being wary of me? I care about you a lot. Hurry and open the door. Have a clear talk with Brother the Quan, quickly. Havan realized something was wrong, so her face showed great confusion. The thugs, the Quan's underlings, had brought tools to pry open the door. Don't worry, Brother the Quan, we've been on the streets for so long. Opening a door is a trivial matter. To create a diversion while trying to force the door, the Quan continued to ask, Havan, is your family's token on you? The naive girl answered truthfully, my brother gave it to me. Good, then I can rest assured. As soon as he finished speaking, the whole group kicked the door and rushed inside. They covered Havan's mouth, held her hands and feet, making her unable to move. The Quan warned, if you had opened the door earlier, this would have been over, right? This little girl, is this the antique that father wants? Now the Havan and the token are both in my hands. Later, I'll make him kneel and apologize to the old man. Havan suddenly tried to resist. Brother the Quan, why? Aren't you my brother's friend? The Quan at this moment was no different from a demon and showed his true face. Do you know why I was so close to your brother? Because he's a complete idiot who believed every word I said. I'm carrying a lot of things that can't be exposed. If they were discovered, I'd have to find someone to take the blame for free, right? Also, if it weren't for Havim, how would I have gotten no Nalon? The way she feels is really not bad. Havan didn't allow him to touch her face, so she screamed for him to let go. The Quan just went ahead and touched her face. Keep it down, little Van. If you scream again, I'll have no choice but to stuff a sock in your mouth. The surrounding thugs cheered him on. Brother the Quan, you're so talented. Has this little girl matured yet? They were clearly planning to do something perverted. That you guys can check for yourselves. There's still plenty of time. Just then, all of them were sucked into another dreamy, fantastical space. Have you ancestors ever heard of a pleasure den? Of flowers? Out of nowhere, a series of beautiful, sexy women came to serve. Each one of them, just like in real life. General, let this servant attend to you. The Quan was so lost in the days that he didn't want to escape. A paradise. This is a paradise. The beautiful women here even enthusiastically fed him meat. Great king, your concubine will feed you grilled meat. The Quan wrapped his arms around each girl's waist and shivered. Beauty, am I dreaming? There was something unusual in the beauty's eyes, as her red eyes continuously glowed like a demon's. But the Quan still didn't notice. Great king, is the grilled meat delicious? Delicious, it's really delicious. At this moment, the space suddenly turned chillingly cold, and all the water in the pool turned into a sea of blood. Then that's good. It's true that the great king eating his own flesh is the most delicious. They were all extremely bewildered. What is this? This is heart's blood, a heart. This isn't a luxurious pleasure den. This is clearly hell. The beautiful woman from before had turned into a real demon. Is the great king not satisfied with the menu? The heart of bygone, the flesh of Bo-E-Cow, and the eyes of those loyal ministers. Which one does the great king want to eat? Still in Havim's house. But perhaps only people like the Quan's group were having such hallucinations, and they continuously clutched their heads, groaning in pain. Seeing them suddenly struggling and screaming loudly, Havan was bewildered, flustered, not understanding what was happening. The thugs looked up at the ceiling and screamed, Ghosts! They're ghosts. The Quan grimaced. Damn it, where did the ghosts come from? It's just someone pretending to be a ghost. We've all harmed people. What's there to be afraid of? Damn it, could it be because of this strange token? If you've got the guts, then come at me. It's just a tattered sign, useless inside and out. It's just trash. Suddenly, from within the token, a demonic hand emerged and clawed straight at the Quan's face, making him scream in pain. The moment the token tumbled and fell was also when Havim walked in coolly at, it's quite lively here. That girl Nalan was also with him. As soon as she saw the Quan cowering in a corner, she ran over and asked, The Quan, what's wrong with you? Are you okay? He kept yelling, pointing at the token. It's a demon. That token is a treasure. Don't let him go. Get him. Havim stood still, letting them charge at him. Inside, Sister Sue cried, her voice a reminder. Prison Master, the token's sole power is all used up. It's all Legenzi's fault. He had to come out for a minute, otherwise I could have controlled them for a while longer. The bear also acted sulky. I didn't even get to go on stage. Havim was still very calm and unfazed. With your size, the moment you appear, this building would probably collapse, wouldn't it? These small matters aren't your turn yet. It's a good time for me to test out my ability. The moment Havim shot fire at them, their entire bodies felt like they were about to be incinerated. The heat was unimaginable. They scattered and ran, quickly heading to where there was water, hoping to douse the flames. One of them couldn't take it and dropped dead on the floor. At this point, the Quan, his face covered in blood, was utterly terrified. He realized Havim had demonic powers since when? Nalan pretended to speak up for him. Don't come over here. Havim, the Quan is your good brother. You have to think about your past friendship, right? At this point, he had no intention of sparing anyone. Remember our past friendship? You broke into my house, kidnapped my sister, stole my token, and this vicious woman, Nalan, also came along to put on a show. I want to puke. And now you want me to remember our past friendship. How can you be so reasonable? The Quan tried to lift his head, feigning innocence. Havim, I don't know what you're talking about. It's all just a misunderstanding. Nalan, why don't you go and persuade Havim? Aren't you his girlfriend? You two are about to get married. I'll even have to be the best man then. Nalan again put on a coquettish act, sticking out her butt and chest. That's right, Havim. Don't you want to marry me? I don't need a bride price anymore. Are you happy? Anyway, you have nothing now, but I'm still willing to marry you. Can you tell me why you have this power? I will love you forever. While it seemed Nalan had mesmerized Havim, the Quan grabbed a knife, lunged forward, and died. Immediately, Havim gave both that bitch and the Quan a taste of burning fire. I also used to wonder why I awakened this flame ability. Now, I finally understand. Perhaps it's because there are too many filthy things like you in this world. Therefore, I think everything must be burned clean. This is the Tong family ancestral hall. Tong Tien is lighting incense and praying. Ancestors above, your descendant Tong Tien hopes for your blessing for the Tong family to have favorable winds and rain and to rise step by step. A mysterious force emanated from the token on the altar, continuously mentioning issues like spirit energy, antiques, maiden's blood, disciples, foolish staff, descending. Those were the demands of Tong Tien's ancestor. He continued to kowtow. Yes, please don't rush. Ancestor, your descendant will offer the other things to you right away. After that, the one considered the ancestor vaguely revealed what would happen in the future. Apocalypse in 3 days, prepare quickly. Tong Tien was a bit suspicious, then became extremely panicked as he implicitly understood. Apocalypse in 3 days? Could the ancestor's meaning be? Tong Tien shouted loudly, giving an order. Immediately have people go and prepare to buy a large amount of food and water. Quickly. If my guess is correct, I'm afraid the apocalypse is really coming. Quickly tell the Quan to bring people here. We will proceed with the sacrifice immediately. Not letting him act sneakily, Havim jumped in from nowhere. No need for such trouble. I've come myself. Not only did he show his face, but the young man also brought his son, his face covered in blood. Seeing his son lying motionless, Tong Tien appeared very worried and panicked. Bastard, what did you do? How dare you barge into the Tong family ancestral hall? What do you think this place is? What are you still standing there for? Deal with him for me. After this command, a group of people recklessly rushed towards Havim while he calmly approached them. In the moment between closing and opening his eyes, Havim activated his power, using fire to burn each target. In an instant, they all collapsed, leaving only Tong Tien standing there dumbfounded. With his eyes and hand ablaze, Havim smiled brightly. Uncle Tong, hello there. Behind him, Tong Tien's subordinates were rolling on the ground from the intense heat, each one clutching their face and screaming loudly. In a state of confusion, he didn't know what to do and pulled out a gun, pointing it straight at Havim. The moment he pulled the trigger was also when Havim snapped his fingers, making the damn gun explode. His hand was also burned to the point of bleeding. In too much pain, he dropped to his knees. Havim's face looked very amused. You shouldn't play with explosives so carelessly. Like that, Uncle Tong. Only Havim knew that although his ability had just awakened to level 1, the power of the Netherworld Flame was truly terrifying. Currently, he could control about 10 gallons of fire at once, within a 2-meter range, for a duration of about 10 seconds. If there were flammable objects, the effect would be even better. Too cornered and pathetic, Tong Tien had no other choice but to crawl on his knees and beg. Bastard. Evil being, ancestor of the Tong family, the cherished bloodline cannot be broken. I beg you to manifest. Right at that moment, the deity considered the ancestor revealed himself and suppressed Havim's power. The deity's voice boomed. I am the ancient fire virtue star Lord Inghua, evil one, kneel down. Havim was caught off guard and got injured, and the members of the Tong family all returned to their normal state. No longer in pain, Tong Tien gloated, pointing arrogantly. Ha! The Star Lord has manifested. The righteous God vanquishes evil. Havim, you will surely not leave in one piece. This Star Lord appeared enormous, his power 10,000 times greater than Havim's. The young man looked up and retorted, "I've said it before, it seems the Tong family has never been demoted. In this apocalyptic context, there is indeed someone behind the scenes. I originally just came here to snatch a few antiques for some money. I didn't expect to run into a big boss." The Star Lord laughed savagely after hearing this, stomping one foot and sending Havim tumbling. Then, the Star Lord reached down with the intention of crushing Havim in an instant. But unexpectedly, he managed to dodge. Tong Tien momentarily thought Havim was a goner for sure. This time, but no, after just a few seconds, he was standing there dumbfounded. Immediately, Havim summoned the bear who was obsessed with handsome men, but could also turn into a fierce demon when needed. Right when he was attacked, Sister Sue updated Havim with information. Prison Master, this Fire Virtue Star Lord is a Sciention fire spirit. Over thousands of years, thanks to the incense offerings of the family, he has accumulated a large amount of spiritual power. He is only one step away from descending into a physical body. If you can capture and absorb him, your soul power and flammability will be significantly enhanced. Hearing this, Havim guessed that Sister Sue already had a plan. Sister Sue continued, "Currently, the Great Omen token's soul power is insufficient, but if the prison master dares to take a gamble, there might be a chance to win. You can withdraw your own soul power and put it into the Great Omen token, summoning one of them to help destroy the god." Havim found it interesting after hearing this. "I thought it was something difficult. It's just that soul power originates from a soul. If I fail to capture the Fire Virtue Star Lord and can't replenish my soul in time, I'll be wiped out instantly, right? At that time, wouldn't the one summoned be able to escape from the prison?" Sister Sue seems very confident. "So, does the prison master still want to bet?" Havim retorted, asking why he should bet, then pulled out the token to Sue's alarm. "What are you doing?" "I've put the Netherworld Flame into the token. If I'm wiped out, the Netherworld Flame will erupt and be destroyed along with the token. Without the token, no one in this world will be able to unlock the prison. You all will also never have the chance to see the light of day again. Therefore, to ensure I can return alive, you know what you have to do, right?" The young man began to draw out soul power. A light shone upon the place where the beast was imprisoned. Havim decided to summon the great demon guarding Luojia Mountain in the South Sea, the black bear spirit, out of prison to assist in the fight. This was also the moment the bear was released. Sister Sue was afraid it would go crazy and had to remind it, "Black Bear, don't cause trouble. The prison master will absolutely be fine." This is the reason Black Bear appeared to confront the Star Lord right now. After one clash, he sent him tumbling. Black Bear roared continuously, extremely excited. "I'm finally out. This feels so good. Let's fly and jump." It laughed loudly like a hyperactive bear until Havim gave it a smack right on the head, which sobered it up. Havim looked very exasperated. "You still dare to mess around with silly tricks at a time like this? Get to the main task. My soul power can't last much longer. Do you really want me to be wiped out?" In this critical situation, it still thought this was a compliment from Havim and looked pleased. "I know, Prison Master, I've always been loyal. You were right to call me." Ha! Feeling ecstatic, it also wanted to beat that Star Lord to a pulp, continuously clawing and biting him. Just a minor 5-element god dares to block the path of this mountain god. Hurry up and offer your fire essence. The Star Lord tried to summon fire, but Black Bear didn't give him a chance. It slapped him in the face again. "You dare to summon it? What an insolent old man." At this point, the Star Lord couldn't do anything. He knew his own limits. "My true body has reached its limit. I can't exert my full power. I'll retreat for now." But he wasn't allowed to leave. Havim continued to launch his move. "Want to run? Have you heard It's Too Late by Sun Tung yet? Immortal Binding Vine." Immediately after, he was tightly bound by a magical vine, unable to struggle. At this point, Tong Tien could only roll on the ground and follow his ancestor, the Fire Virtue Star Lord. After remembering that the vine binding the Star Lord looked familiar, Tong Tien was dazed, astonished, and flabbergasted. "It's the vine from the gourd back then." Havim flashed a supremely confident smile. "Luckily, thanks to Uncle Tong's generosity, by only buying the gourd, I was able to obtain this immortal binding vine." Tong Tien fell into complete despair. He wailed and sobbed, "Ancestor, old ancestor, After the vine glowed, the Star Lord also turned into a fire essence. Havim slowly extended his hand to receive the finished product. Suddenly, the young man thought of an idea and said to Tong Tien, "How about we make a deal?" Tong Tien still couldn't hear anything else and just sobbed. On one side was his son, Tong Quan, still lying there, his life status unknown. Havim spoke up. "To maintain the incense of your Tong family, Uncle Tong, how much money are you willing to give?" While still gasping for breath, Tong Quan still managed to ask his father, "Father, did you really give him all of our family's money? What are we going to do now?" Tong Tien hugged his son and replied, "The apocalypse is coming. What does this little bit of money count for? Your survival is the most important thing." Immediately after, he also turned to remind all the members of the Tong family, "This matter must not be revealed. Immediately go and auction off the houses, convert all assets into cash, then buy rice and water. Remember my suburban villa? There's a shelter underneath. Immediately proceed to fortify it with weapons. Also, continue to call Old Huang to buy antiques." Havim is only one person. Now, because of the apocalypse's changes, he has an ability. If all of us Tong family descendants can seize this opportunity, then the apocalypse for us is actually a good thing. He went mad, gritting his teeth and glaring, "Havim, I will definitely make you suffer punishment." In another aspect, Havim was in front of a large pharmacy. The balance in his bank account was nearly 3 million. The young man walked in while thinking, "If it weren't for the time being so tight, I could have robbed more from the Tong family. Forget it for now. Efficiency is the top priority at this point." Immediately, he asked the pharmacy owner and wanted to buy 1 ton of Shanching pills. The pharmacy owner hadn't processed it yet and replied immediately, "Yes, sir, I'll get it for you right away." After realizing something unusual about the customer's request, the pharmacy owner was astonished. Flabbergasted. "How much? 1 ton? Is that a mistake? Shanching pills are just a normal type of heat-clearing and detoxifying medicine." At this point, Havim didn't like to talk much and asked directly, "Are you selling or not? If not, I'll go to another shop." The shop owner hesitated, confused, still not having processed what was happening. "This, sir, I am selling. Of course I'm selling. It's just that buying so much at once, we have to transfer the goods here. It might take 2 days. Also, the price is not cheap." Havim very boldly declared, "I'll pay an extra 20%, but I want the goods by tomorrow night." Immediately, the pharmacy owner sealed the deal without a second thought. After a while, he had also gathered all 10 tons of Shanching pills from the entire city, and, at the same time, placed a large order online. It seemed to be enough. Who would have thought that in the coming days of the apocalypse, the most important supply would be a type of medicine that few paid attention to, like Shanching pills? Remembering his previous life, before he was reborn, he and his sister had struggled in pain because they didn't have Shanching pills. His sister even had to go and rob others, but failed. This medicine could help accelerate the process of awakening abilities, while also effectively suppressing the effects of zombification. At that time, Havan had deeply regretted not stocking up on it, causing her brother to suffer and struggle like this. The girl even risked her life to run out and search in farther pharmacies. At the moment his sister was about to face danger, Havim couldn't stop her in time, and the final outcome was that his sister was captured by them and was gone forever, missing his sister even while the two of them were reunited. Now he didn't want that situation to happen again. The young man pensively entered the room, looked at Ha Van sleeping soundly, and stroked her head. "Rest assured, I will definitely protect you." As for the Tong family, they only knew that the apocalypse was coming and would definitely hoard large quantities of food, but they didn't know that in the early stages of the apocalypse, the most important resource was ability. Users. Possessing Shanching pills was also possessing an army of ability users that could be used at will. He took something out of his pocket and used the netherworld flame to burn it. Immediately, that thing turned into a pink lotus flower radiating a halo. Sister Sue excitedly clapped her hands in celebration. "Congratulations, Prison Master. The Netherworld Flame has been refined and upgraded to the Red Lotus Karmic Fire. It can break formations and destroy magic. Even my illusion of a wine pool and meat forest would be no trouble for you, Prison Master. Your ability has also increased to level 2, and your control over the fire's form is also more precise." Havim appeared very satisfied. "Very good. The fire essence is more useful than I thought." Black Bear once again showed his envious side, making Havim want to vomit. "Prison Master, next time you summon someone, remember to summon Old Bear Me. Hee hee. Moreover, my sin value has also dropped to 90. After this, every time I eat prison food, I can have an extra piece of meat. Sister Sue grimaced while explaining. Helping the prison master complete tasks can also reduce in value, thus getting better treatment in prison. Not to mention, you also secretly absorbed quite a bit of spiritual power from the fire virtue, right? Such a good job. Prison master, this servant also wants to be summoned. Havim had a massive headache with the two loudspeakers whispering in his ear. He pushed them both away. Only Zenitsu was determined not to be tamed, got a bunch of guard dogs tamed by a few small benefits. Shut up. Hey, kid, you better not summon me, because I will definitely stand aside coldly and wait for a chance to break out of prison. Havim just sneered after hearing this. Haha, Zenitsu, with the increase of my strength, more and more prison doors will be opened. If there are beasts stronger than you, why would I summon you? Perhaps by then, the one begging will be you. After saying that, he also left. As soon as he returned, holding the token in his hand, the young man continuously looked up at the moon, which was undergoing a transformation. Tomorrow is the second day of the countdown before the apocalypse. He will definitely make the most of the time. He currently has more than 20 million in hand. It should be enough to buy what he needs. The next day, Havim arrived at the jewelry exhibition and finally found it. In the apocalypse, ordinary resources can be looted. Okay, but the energy cores for upgrading special abilities can only be obtained by killing zombies. This stone contains a lot of special ability crystals, enough for a level 2 ability user like you to advance to level 3. In my past life, a lucky person obtained this stone, surpassing everyone right from the start. Thanks to it, they reaped countless benefits. This time, Havim was determined to get it. Immediately, he appeared at the auction house. After the Spring Day jade jewelry set was sold for 1.3 million, the item Havim needed was also put on the block. Now, everyone can see this stone has immense potential. According to our detection equipment, at least 5 million worth of jade can be extracted from it. The starting price is 3 million, and the highest bidder wins. People started bidding one after another, one bidding 3.5 million, another 3.8 million, and another 4 million. A young man called Brother How boldly bid up to 5 million. Everyone gasped in surprise. No one expected Brother How to go straight to the highest estimated value. Well, since Brother How has made his move, we won't compete anymore. We still have to give face to the Yu-Hao group. Give. This Brother How said smugly while holding a glass of wine. Haha, thank you all. I'll treat everyone to drinks next time. At that exact moment, a cool-looking Havim walked in, boldly announcing a price no one could reach. I bid 6 million. Everyone turned their heads to look back with extremely puzzled expressions, wondering who this person was. He even looked like a student, so how could he have so much money? Seeing Havim's non-wealthy appearance, an auction staff member ran over and spoke tactfully. Sir, we have a membership system here. You must have a black card to participate in the auction. This is no joke, you see. Havim immediately pulled out a card that showed his status and asked the staff member in return, "Are there any other problems?" At this point, all he could do was bow his head. How could he stop him? Yes, no problem. Please come in, sir. The staff member was still very surprised, as this was a 10 million level cash black card, and immediately guessed that Havim was the young master of some family. The female auctioneer asked once more. This young man has offered 6 million. Is there anyone who will continue to raise the price? Brother How continued, shouting a price of 7 million. Kid, give Brother How some face. It'll make things easier when we meet in the future. Havim was determined to get it, so without a second thought, he bid up to 10 million. Everyone here was frozen stiff, as this price had already surpassed the stone's value. A woman attending to Brother How whispered sweetly, Brother How, we don't need to get angry with him. He's just driving up the price on himself, so let him be the fool. Brother How turned and asked, Kid, what's your name? The young man didn't hesitate to reply, Havim. Brother How started to threaten him. Very good, Havim, I'll remember you. You got some nerve. Immediately, the auctioned item was handed to Havim. The moment he held it, his eyes emitted a few strange bolts of lightning. Just as the young man was about to walk out the door, a shout echoed that there was a monster. The sounds of people crying for help rang out continuously. From within the 9-legged, 7-treasure, golden-laid, jade marrow, pearl-powdered, glazed jade fan that was on the auction shelf, a monster escaped and targeted the box Havim was holding. The young man understood the situation. So it came for this. It must be that before the auction, The jade fan and the stone were placed close to each other, so it sensed the special ability within the stone. Coupled with the fact that the apocalypse is coming, the evil spirit in the fan was awakened. The world is about to fall into chaos. Mysterious events are happening continuously, and this is all just an appetizer. Brother Hao dashed past the monster and shouted for Ha Vim to be careful. Something unexpected happened as everyone witnessed. The sight of Ha Vim shooting fire at the monster with one hand. Following that was the power radiating from his left eye. In just a moment, he was able to subdue it. However, the little demon's cultivation level was not high, so the harvest was only a little bit of special ability. At this very moment, Brother Hao, far from being competitive, dropped to his knees, looking at Ha Vim with an admiring gaze. My God, Ha Vim, he's a master. Your old man, want to take him as my master. Scene change to another development. Downstairs, Ha Vim was busy with all sorts of things. Everyone in the apartment building was very surprised to hear that all these items were bought by Ha Vim. Someone even thought he was about to open a supermarket. In everyone's eyes, Ha Vim seemed to be well-liked. A young man standing there expressed, Ha Vim is a very good person with a gentle temperament. He must be trying to start a business. But a flashy-looking woman standing there sneered. Ha ha, a young man who doesn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Does he really think he can succeed at anything he does? Just wait and see if the shop he opens will make it or not. You could just smell the jealousy. A woman came out and teased. Annie Truong, didn't you want to rent this warehouse from them to open a supermarket before? The hag vehemently denied it. A location that bad, I wouldn't even look at it, let alone rent it. As for Ha Vim, he walked in proudly, not giving a damn about the gossip outside, and just focusing on his own business. He was thinking to himself, I just used the remaining money to buy some things. What else am I missing? A delivery worker spoke up. Mr. Ha, all the goods have been delivered. Would you like to check them? He completely trusted the people here, so he didn't even need to check. Seeing the situation with so many goods, he was afraid that another truck would arrive tomorrow, but there wouldn't be enough space. Ha Vim decided to go to the main warehouse to pick up the goods himself. After hearing that Ha Vim had another truck coming tomorrow, the hag Truong gritted her teeth in anger. Another truck tomorrow. Has Ha Vim really struck it rich? On what grounds? He's an orphan with no father or mother. Doesn't he know how to respect his elders like me? Is the supermarket about to open now? That was clearly the place I chose. I should be the one striking it rich. Just then, her son or grandson, it's not clear which, needed to pee and just ran straight into the warehouse. After relieving himself right on Ha Vim's boxes of goods, the hag Truong even ran over to praise him. Wow, little Bao is so clever. He knows how to pee by himself now. On top of that, she turned to Tan Ha Vim. Children don't know any better. I'm sure you won't hold it against him, right? Immediately, he grabbed the kid by the collar and threw him out, even though he hadn't finished peeing. Urine splattered all over the hag Truong, making her furious. Ha Vim, what do you think you're doing? The boy thrashed about, screaming and crying, while Ha Vim reached out and pulled the door shut. Get lost. The door slammed shut with a bang, leaving only the hag outside. The hag Truong gritted her teeth like a she-devil, while her grandson next to her kept demanding to play with firecrackers and set them off. As soon as the boy finished speaking, she thought of a nasty trick to play on Ha Vim. Little Bao, Grandma will buy you firecrackers right away. Tomorrow night, we'll set off a whole bunch. If a spark happens to fly into the warehouse and start a fire, that would be a real shame, wouldn't it, Ha Vim? On another note, after shutting the door tightly, he began to look over the array of goods, and it seemed everything was all here. He opened a magic formation and collected them inside. Sister Sue saw so many things and became excited. So many things, this is great. Finally, this old lady can enjoy herself. Ha Vim reminded her to find an empty prison cell and put all the goods inside it. Overjoyed, Sister Sue immediately agreed. As you command, Warden, you can rest assured, leave it to me. Sister Sue was so thrilled she went wild. I'm great at arranging things. There are also many live animals here. We can set aside a piece of land next to the tower to raise them. Nourished by the spiritual energy inside the tower, their already delicious meat will become even tastier. By then, we'll have so much chicken to eat, more than we can ever finish. Ha Vim walked out, musing to himself. The outside world is approaching its end. I don't know how long it will last. I'll send in a large number of living creatures as a way to preserve a spark for human civilization. The bear expressed its opinion that Havim should start farming. During a famine, the most important things are seeds and land. As long as you have these, all living things can survive. Havim started to consider it. He had bought quite a few seeds, but the land situation didn't look very promising. The young man decided to fly out for a bit and come back. He went to the suburbs to scout. With this much land, I wonder if the magic formation can hold it all? Well, I'll just try collecting some to be sure. He began to sweep up the land here. Sister Sue was standing still when suddenly a huge amount of earth was sucked in. The girl panicked. Oh my God, that's more than enough. It can't hold any more. Warden, your power reserve is insufficient. The space you opened is too small. It will be flooded, boo-hoo. After looking at the amount of land he had collected, the young man sighed. All right, I managed to collect at least 20,000 caddies of soil, but it still doesn't feel like enough. After the apocalypse, everything, including the land, will be mutated. Right now, these good, unmutated plots of land will become impossible to find after tomorrow. He sat down and held something in his hand. There was no more time to waste. After he closed his eyes, a great deal of light surrounded him and a lotus platform bloomed again. As for the hag Trong, she was still spending a lot of money to buy a pile of firecrackers with the intention of playing a dirty trick on Havim. Havim, you bastard, I'll see what your face looks like later. Her grandson picked up a mirror somewhere and brought it over with a very excited look. What is it, little Bao? Where did this mirror come from? Did you sneak it from a store when we bought the firecrackers? You're truly my grandson, so smart, so young, and you already know to give your grandma a gift. Suddenly, a hand from the mirror touched the boy's head, making him giggle foolishly. There's someone there, Grandma. There's someone there. The hag Truong looked into the mirror, startled. What person? The boy replied innocently, there's a person in the mirror. The moment she looked, a demonic face appeared with sharp fangs. The hag Truong screamed and fell down. A demon? There's a demon. Throw it away, quick. The boy was as if possessed, his innocent expression gone, replaced by a malicious one. Grandma, don't you love looking in the mirror? Didn't you say little Bao could do anything he wanted? So why don't you look in the mirror, look? Once again, the demonic mirror was pressed against her face, and she could only gasp in shock. Finally, a demon crawled out of the mirror and chomped down on her. When did this boy, little Bao, turn into a demon? Haha, this is so much fun. Grandma, let's keep playing. The hag Truong was now also possessed. Little Bao, come here, Grandma loves you. And just like that, the boy little Bao was also sucked the hell in. Under the moonlight, this city was cold, filled with lingering ghosts. At the pier warehouse, it was rumored that a heavy rain was coming. A young man was opening the warehouse door when he received a report from a boat far away. Oh no, there's a problem. The boat pulled up a net of monster fish. It has pimples on its body and sharp teeth in its mouth. Is this even edible? It must be because of the company discharging wastewater, causing everything in the sea to mutate. This employee walked inside after his shift was over and said to Old No, give me the storage log. But things didn't seem normal. One of Old No's hands suddenly trembled, then turned a pale gray, and so did his entire face. Unaware of the situation, the other employee approached. Old No, do you have cold? Do you want me to ask for a day off for you? Suddenly, a group of people rushed in from somewhere. I heard all of Jade City's Thuong Tandan pills are in this warehouse. Is that right? This employee immediately replied, these are all goods that customers have already bought. The leader of the other group ordered, cleared all out for me. The employee couldn't stop them in time. What are you people doing? Wait, stop right there. After one blow, the employee fell unconscious. As the man was about to go inside, a hand suddenly reached out and scratched his leg, causing it to bleed profusely. Old No had really turned into a stiff corpse. It wasn't until the man in sunglasses smashed a shovel into his head that Old No collapsed. After being bitten on the leg, the leader's face also began to change, with purple veins continuously popping out. Leader, are you okay? Just move the medicine for me. If anyone tries to stop you, act directly. At that moment, Havim walked in with an extremely calm expression. Act directly on what? You want to harm people? These are all my things, bought with real gold and silver. You still want to rob me? The apocalypse hasn't even arrived, and you're already in such a hurry to die? The leader struggled to his feet. My friend, I won't lie to you. All the goods at this pier are the property of my boss. Your goods haven't left the port yet, so why not do a good deed for a smooth transaction? You could decide the price. How about it? Havim bluntly refused, saying he didn't want to sell. Furthermore, he warned them, I'll give you 1 minute. If you haven't scrammed by then, you'll bear the consequences yourself. After seeing a person lying on the ground undergoing a transformation, Havim calmly assessed the situation. The zombification has already begun. Behind him, the other men were ordered to charge and fight Havim hand-to-hand. He just glanced back once, then disappeared in an instant. They looked left and right, only to see him standing imposingly on top of the pile of goods. The group was dumbfounded, their mouths agape. After opening a box, Havim taunted, That's right, you just said all the goods at this pier belong to your boss. So do these as well? The leader asked back, his eyes already blood red. What do you want to do? With his left eye glowing brightly, Havim replied, Learn the opponent's techniques to create my own product. I have to learn from you guys and pick a fight. Immediately after, there was an explosion in the warehouse. Everyone knows how it ended. This information was updated to the person in charge. It was a glamorous woman, dressed very sexily. She was very frustrated. What? Not only did you fail to bring back the medicine, but all the other goods were stolen? It turned out the group from before had run back to report. That person has superpowers. He's not a normal person. He's a monster. Moreover, with so many goods, after he closed the warehouse door, he was nowhere to be seen. By the time we finally managed to open the door, the inside was empty, nothing was left. After hearing everything, this woman was also stunned. So that's how it is. Do you know that person's name? A man with glasses answered. I checked the recipient's information. His name is Havim. After thinking about this name, the woman in red muttered. He's also a special ability user. Moreover, it seems he has spatial abilities. If I have the chance, I'd really like to steal it. The man standing in front of her seemed to have finished his transformation into a zombie. His fingernails grew long, and he collapsed with a bloodthirsty face. Looking at him, this woman could also identify the situation. The toxin has already invaded the brain. Even if we use Thuong Tan Dan pills now, it's too late. She immediately ordered him to be taken outside and burned. Do not, under any circumstances, let him scratch you, and do not come into direct contact with his blood. In a moment of carelessness, the man sprang up and lunged straight at the woman, but she held out her hand and activated her power. Numerous tree roots shot out from nowhere and pierced straight through his body. After a scream, his body parts were hung from the branches. The man with glasses was surprised. Boss, you, the woman replied. This is just the beginning. Continue to search for medicine and stockpile weapons. Use the logistics warehouse as a base, and with our backs to the sea, set up a defense in front. Gather everyone and prepare yourselves mentally. After looking out the window at the sky with its howling wind, the boss declared, The apocalypse is here. In another development, Havim was bringing supplies and items back for his sister. Drink this. The water and air are no longer clean. From now on, anything that comes into direct contact with your skin or that you drink can only be mineral water. You must take 3 Thuong Tan Dan pills every day for prevention and to boost your resistance. If you feel any chills, tell me immediately. Havan obeyed, drinking while looking at the medicine packet. In truth, she was also very curious why her brother was going to such lengths. Brother, you can tell me now, can't you? What on earth is happening out there? Havim didn't want to hide it anymore. It's true, I should tell you. Let's talk as we walk. I'll take you somewhere. Havan stepped out and looked around in fear. Since returning from school, this is the first time I've left the house. Why does it feel so gloomy and cold? Havim smiled lightly. Ha, it's just that the demons and ghosts have started to appear. The hag Truong had now turned into a demon and was eating her grandson's corpse. I finished eating, I'm so hungry. On what grounds do they have everything? On what grounds do they not share with me? These things should all be mine, all of it is mine. She went mad, insane, screaming. How many times have I told you, don't wander around at home, it'll affect this old woman. Don't you know I'm a light sleeper? Everyone is targeting me. You all can just die. And with that, she charged straight outside. While Havim was opening the taxi door, Nalan and her mother arrived at the apartment complex. Nalan, the security in this neighborhood looks a bit average, doesn't it? The girl Nalan was excited and smug. With a strong man like Havim here, who cares if the security is bad? In the future, that place will be the forever home for me. And him. Her mother was already celebrating prematurely. It wasn't a waste for us to borrow over 100,000 for you to get the most advanced restoration surgery in Bong country, and even do your makeup in the English style. My daughter is so beautiful. She can definitely capture Havim's heart. This is a classic case of social climbing. They ignored him before, but now they're fawning over him. Nalan also confidently stroked her face, truly shameless. Of course, Havim likes this look of mine. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been so infatuated with me and pursued me all the time before. Although I don't know why he was so rough with me this time. He has become strong and very capable now. As long as I can make Havim kneel at my feet once more, with his abilities, can't we command the wind and rain? Even the Quan was attacked by him. He's truly worthy of being my boyfriend. As long as I appear before him and stick to him a little, won't he obediently come back? Suddenly, her mother also saw Havim and pointed towards the car. Oh, that's him. That's Havim. Where's he going? The mother and daughter got into a car and followed. To them, following Havim now was like following a treasure. They couldn't let some other vixen snatch him away. She calls others vixens, but doesn't realize she's the real vixen. The siblings Havan and Havim stopped at the zoo, and there was an argument happening here too. A father was berating the zoo manager. My son's hat was almost torn. He was even almost beaten to a pulp. And you call that an accident? I'm sorry, sir. The animals in our zoo are usually very gentle. I don't know why they're like this today. Havan walked in, looking bewildered. The animals are becoming ferocious because of the apocalypse too? My brother has already explained a lot to me, and I understand a little. The apocalypse is coming. Humans will either turn into zombie monsters or survive the mutation and gain special abilities. And my brother, due to a coincidence, awakened early, so he can predict everything. As expected, Havim had lied to his sister like that. He unconsciously nodded at his sister and thought to himself, it's best not to let little Van know about the suffering of my past life, otherwise she'll be sad for a long time. Havan asked her brother why they came to the zoo instead of finding a place to hide. Havim believed that hiding was only temporary. To survive the apocalypse, one must possess strength. He stroked his sister's head. Even though I have combat strength, I can't protect you at all times during the apocalypse. Anything can happen, so little Van, you must also become strong. Hearing her brother say that, she suddenly became excited. I can. Brother, I want to become strong. I don't want to be a burden to you. The two siblings began to head inside. Nalan and her mother also followed them here. Why did Havim and little Van go into the zoo? The mother slyly suggested, daughter, hurry up and go with them. Create a chance encounter and mesmerize him. Nalan started to primp, reapplying some lipstick. While she was applying her bright red lipstick behind them, many red-eyed beasts were preparing to charge. In the turtle area, Havim and Lil Van were still scouting. Sister Sue whispered in Havim's ear, Warden, there's someone extraordinary here. I can smell it. The bear also growled. I hate fighting these types the most. They're stinky and tough, and they live even longer than me. After a while, Havim also found what he was looking for, the 8,000-year-old turtle. This turtle has lived here since the zoo was built for over 100 years now. The zoo even gave it a name, but it wasn't a very cool one. They called it a green turtle of unknown age, so they temporarily named it Little One. The young man recalled his past life. This turtle was also very famous. Just because a descended deity wanted to pass through the place it occupied, the old turtle refused to yield and even bit the deity. The deity confronted and fought it for several days, but still couldn't break its shell. When I heard that news, I thought, if I can get to protect little Van, there will surely be nothing to worry about. Havim approached, showing great respect. Senior Turtle. However, the turtle didn't seem to pay much attention. Havim decided to use a stronger tactic. Oh, I'm getting hungry after walking for a while. Maybe I'll cook a pot of turtle soup to try. Upon hearing this, it suddenly turned to look at Havim. Why are humans always so impatient? In the old days, there were 3 visits. Little brother, you have a request for me, but not only are your courtesies lacking, you even dare to threaten me. Havim pulled his sister's hand and replied, the apocalypse begins immediately. There really is no time for such formalities. Senior Turtle, my humble self is Havim, and this is my sister, named Havan. Havan seemed very interested, even praising the turtle as a super cute talking little one. The old turtle looked weary, coughing dryly. If it weren't for the fact that I was greedy in the past, got an upset stomach, and was coincidentally found outdoors and cared for attentively by the zoo director, I wouldn't have followed her back here. That name, Little One, was just an accident. Has it been several hundred years since the escape? But this old man's lifespan is still over 3,000 years. It will pass in the blink of an eye. Elsewhere, Sister Sue and Hey Hatsi were going crazy with excitement. Oh my God, a 3,000-year-old turtle. It's not far from evolving into a Xuanwu. If we can eat the turtle's soul, we could extend our lives by hundreds of years. Xia Yin got straight to the point, expressing his wish for the turtle to protect his younger sister. In addition, he also asked, if you have any conditions, just state them. The turtle replied, today, all things fluctuate, and the blood moon rises high. After the apocalypse arrives, our turtle clan will surely be affected. Xia Yin thought, if it's about the small turtles in this pond, I can move them into the demon-suppressing pagoda and dig a pond for them with unlimited nourishment. Upon hearing about the demon-suppressing pagoda, the turtle jumped in shock, and a series of memories and images flooded back. After understanding, the turtle was completely subdued. So that's how it is. Haha, so that's how it is. The reason this old turtle, came here 100 years ago and ended up in this place. Can a mere brat like you manage the hung prison? The apocalypse is terrifying, but if you walk the wrong path, you will cause a danger 10 times greater than the divine apocalypse. If you cannot bear the weight of my 3,000-year lifespan with your body, why should I help you? Unconsciously, the turtle grew 10,000 times larger. Xia Yin ran out in fear, while Xia Yin used his bare hands to support the turtle's body. Everything happened magically, while that girl Yalan was utterly bewildered and stunned. What's that commotion inside? The wind blew so hard it blew her fucking wig off, revealing a patchy, bald head, so hideously ugly. A camel had snatched the wig in its mouth, and she tried to threaten it with her designer bag. You beast, give me back my hair. The camel spat continuously, hitting Yalan and her mother directly, making them both flinch and squirm. What is this? It's camel spit, how disgusting. At this point, writhing all over, she looked utterly filthy. Yalan screamed, oh my god, I want to chop them to pieces. Her mother tried to stop her. Don't mess with these beasts for now. Finding Xia Yin is more important. The mother grabbed the wig and put it back on her daughter's head, but it was a complete mess, even backward, making the already flustered girl even more furious. The mother pointed towards the turtle area, having noticed the commotion, so the mother and daughter moved inside. The mother was certain Xia Yin was there. As soon as she stepped in, Yalan grimaced because the place reeked of a foul stench. While walking, she unfortunately stepped in turtle droppings, and the mother took the opportunity to wipe her foot on a nearby turtle shell. Nearby, this damn turtle is finally useful for something. It can even clean my shoes. She didn't know that this turtle had undergone a transformation, its eyes glowing red. The mother and daughter, still oblivious, continued running deeper inside. Yalan said coquettishly, I just need to part the large leaves ahead to see Xia Yin. I'll emerge from the foliage with a sweet, lovely, and infinitely charming appearance that will surely move Xia Yin's heart. She imagined a romantic and perfect scene would unfold. Who would have thought that as soon as she parted the leaves, a giant, mutated turtle was right in front of her? Just like that, it bit Yalan straight on the arm. The reason she bled immediately was that a turtle's teeth are usually very sharp and small, with an extremely strong bite force. Once a turtle bites, it's incredibly painful and difficult to escape. Although Yalan was in extreme pain, she didn't dare to scream loudly, afraid that Xia Yin would see this farce. But her mother couldn't take it anymore and shrieked when it took a bite out of her butt. At this point, Yalan wailed just as loudly. Let me go now, Xia Yin, save me. As soon as she yanked her arm free, Yalan fell face first into a stinking puddle. Elsewhere, Xia Yin was still using his small body to support the entire old turtle, the creature the zoo called Little One. Heihatsi couldn't resist his craving and was about to rush out. Prison Master, let me go. I'll smash this turtle once, then we could divide its meat and eat it. Xia Yin decisively told Heihatsi to be quiet. He continued to use all his strength to support the turtle. Xia Yin seemed to be overexerting himself. The old turtle's eyes glowed yellow as it laughed loudly. If you can't do it, then give up. All things live and die. Everything has its own destiny. When the apocalypse comes, what can you do? You might as well hand the demon-suppressing pagoda to me. I will guarantee the lifelong safety of you and your loved ones. Even if the world is destroyed, it will have nothing to do with you. The demon-suppressing pagoda is such a malevolent thing. You can't bear it either. After Xia Yin used all the pagoda's energy to support the turtle, both Sister Su and Heihatsi also felt immense pain, to the point of wanting to do nothing and give up on everything. Xia Yin only became more determined, his face covered in sweat, but the young man still replied decisively, Is that so? Old turtle, you've lived for so long. Have you ever heard of this principle? If you don't advance, you retreat. If you don't live, you die. After shouting such a powerful phrase, Xiaoyan used all his remaining strength to throw the turtle off. The old turtle was stunned, not expecting that small body to be able to escape. The Sanskrit sound. Xiaoyan stepped on its body and threatened it. Still don't know what's good for you? Cut out your farce. Hey Hatsi and Sister Sue, after getting an update on the situation, couldn't help but be indignant. Damn it, Prison Master, it actually dared to invade during a moment of weakness and had ill intentions towards the demon-suppressing pagoda. Why show it mercy? Just deal with it. Sister Sue also frowned, worthy of an old turtle, just a little bit away from becoming a Xuanwu. A little more, and we would have been tricked by you. Luckily, the prison master's will is firm, unlike ordinary people. Xia Yin raised his flame sword high and asked it in a clear, loud voice, "Submit or be erased." The old turtle, now with a magic rope wrapped tightly around its neck, could only cry out. Xia Yin, wreathed in flames, smirked. "Can't cut through, huh? Then I'll just keep going." He just kept hitting its body until the old turtle spoke up. "Stop hitting me. Stop hitting me." Honestly, this old man used the ancestral Mount Time method to stimulate your bone regeneration. Yet you treat an old man like me this way. You didn't hold back your punches and kicks at all. In so much pain that tears welled up, the old turtle could only turn to Xiaoyan. "Little girl, quickly pull your brother away. He's abusing an animal." Xiaoyan didn't pay much attention to the complaints and only focused on his bone regeneration. Indeed, his special ability was greatly enhanced, and it seemed his strength was also much greater. Xiaoyan, with her kind heart, listened to the old turtle and came out to beg her brother to release it. The little girl believed it truly had no ill intentions. The old turtle also looked at Xia Yin with a different gaze. To be so clear-headed even in a fit of rage, not bad, not bad. But, little girl, don't call me little one anymore. In an instant, the turtle suddenly transformed into a very tiny, cute creature. It looked straight at Xia Yun and said, "Humph, you can recognize the power of malicious intent. Your potential is not bad. From now on, with me protecting you, you can rest assured." Xia Yun hugged the turtle like a real pet and even called it Nya. Seeing the turtle suddenly become so tiny, Hatsi could only cry his eyes out, filled with bitter regret. However, even though the turtle looked so darn cute, Xia Yin was still not at ease. No matter what happens, to be sure, I still need a method. I can't be at ease leaving little Yun with a demon that I don't have in the palm of my hand. You know what to do, right? The turtle suddenly became unusually obedient. Of course, Prison Master, I was just joking just now. The demon-suppressing pagoda is an ancient malevolent artifact. One must have a very strong aura and power to control it. How would this old man dare to covet it? Just like that, its soul was sucked into the pagoda and would be imprisoned from this day on. Therefore, from this day forward, this turtle would be under Xia Yan's command. The ring on his neck lit up. The young man continued to remind and instruct, "You must truly stay by little Yun's side and protect her. If there are any abnormalities, 10,000 thunders, soul devourer." After feeling more at ease, he noticed a loud explosion coming from within the zoo. As soon as he jumped onto a tree branch to check the situation, he realized there were so many animals here. They hadn't mutated yet, so he decided to watch for a bit and then collect them into the pagoda. The young man also sucked the entire group of turtles inside. Seeing this, the old turtle could only offer its bitter thanks to the prison master. After that, he put his arm around his sister's waist and said the two of them would go to a safe place together. The two of them flew through the treetops very quickly. In the middle of the muddy water, a filthy-looking Yalan and her mother called out loudly, "Xia Yin, it's me, it's your most beloved girlfriend." Xia Yin felt nauseous and just asked her what she was doing here. Although she was filthy as hell, Yalan still had to act all high and mighty. "Xia Yin, don't be sulky anymore. I know you've always liked me. You just couldn't pluck up the courage to make up with me. After all, I'm this beautiful, right? Look, haven't I come to you? Since we've been apart, you must not have been able to eat or sleep well. After all, I am such a perfect woman." Even though a turtle was still biting her, but the mother had to speak up for her daughter. "That's right, Xia Yin. Our Yalan has always liked you. But didn't you say last time that you wanted to come to my house to propose? At that time, I was just being sharp-tongued and didn't agree, but I actually really like you. This is what they call a mother-in-law. The more she looks at her son-in-law, the more pleased she is. Yalan, with a terrifying face, reached out her hand. Looking no different from a monster, I can forgive your past rudeness to me. You must be very happy, right? Xiaoyan couldn't even be bothered to reply much, just turned back and said 3 words very clearly. You two lunatics. Yalan shouted helplessly, don't go, my love. Oh my God, darling, come back. Don't you like me anymore? Damn you, you dog. I'm this beautiful. On what grounds do you treat me like this? On what grounds? The moment she screamed was also the moment she attracted a swarm of monsters from the surroundings, and they just rushed in to tear them apart. The 2 siblings flew through the treetops, collecting a few other animals that had mutated. After they finished collecting, the 2 found a place to rest. This was the zoo's management area. Everyone inside had already fled, so there wasn't a single soul. The zoo was located in a remote suburb, one side backed onto a mountain. For the time being, besides these beasts, no other people would appear. First, Xiaoyan decided to leave his sister here for now. The surveillance was also very good, and there were even dormitories and living supplies. As for Xiaoyan, she also seemed very satisfied seeing that it was still very good inside. I'll stay here for now. You have your own things to do, right? Go on. Hurry up. I can take good care of myself. Xiaoyan's face showed great concern. You won't be scared all by yourself? Xiaoyan's eyes shone as she replied, partly to ease her brother's worries. How am I alone? Don't I have Ninya? Besides, my brother will always protect me. Now that the apocalypse is here, I have to become strong too. I've already talked to Ninya. It will also teach me how to cultivate, then I can lend you a hand. Xiaoyan looked very pleased and proud. Truly my sister. He was about to turn and remind Nya one more time, but had already understood his intention. Prism Master, I know what to do. Immediately after, the entire area was amplified and covered by its power. All the wolves and wild beasts that approached this place left in a single file. After assessing the situation, Xiaoyan nodded. This should be fine for now. Then, he left through the window. Xiaoyan waved continuously, reminding him, you must be careful. I'll wait for you to come back. The young man passed by many cars, a pathetic sight. The road surface was also covered in blood and injured people. Looking up at the gloomy sky, the young man determined that time was running out and he needed to be faster. The entire city was in flames. The smoke from cars and buildings making everything chaotic. Cries for help rang out from ordinary people being torn apart by the mutated. Outside, the vast majority of people had also turned into zombies. The news program provided continuous updates. A sudden car accident occurred in the city center. The scene is very chaotic, and the number of people in the hospital emergency room is surging. Most patients are suspected of food poisoning. They exhibit symptoms such as bluish-purple skin, bloodshot eyes, and persistent high fever. The National Health Commission is actively organizing rescue efforts. Experts are urging everyone to limit going outdoors. The weather is becoming abnormal. A major storm is approaching. Citizens are advised to stock up on food, clean water, and necessary medicines. Believe in the strength of the nation. Let's join hands to overcome this difficult period. The Girl by Shiren, Xia Yun's class advisor, had just opened her eyes, not yet fully awake, when she heard the shocking news. Why does it sound like the apocalypse is coming? As soon as she opened her phone, she was even more horrified. Many videos of zombies were posted online, and even zombies eating people. A few commenters confirmed the information. It's real. A colleague of mine wasn't feeling well today, went to the hospital, and witnessed a mutated person biting someone. Suddenly, Shiren also felt a change in her body, her whole body continuously heating up. Soon after, her hands changed color and she fainted. Waking up a moment later, she reached for medicine. She had listened to Xiaoyan's advice back then and bought a lot of Shanqing pills. After taking the pill in time, she couldn't hold on any longer and passed out. As for Xiaoyan, he was still flying back and forth, scouting the situation. It's 5 o'clock now, still 1 hour left. In his previous life, at 12 o'clock at night, a great god descended directly upon Feitsue City. But before that, starting from 6 o'clock in the evening, smaller gods appeared continuously. If I remember correctly, the first god appeared on top of this emperor building. When that god descended, it caused great destruction, directly attacking the surrounding buildings. It was also at that moment that people truly fell into a panic. If I can hunt it down and collect a large amount of souls, I will become much stronger. Xia Yin decided to sit down, and the lotus flower appeared once again. The young man was very surprised that his special ability had reached the peak of level 3. Moreover, the red lotus fire had a new mutation. He decided to find a chance to test it out. Regarding Xia Yan's information, both his special ability and soul power were at level 3. The red lotus fire ability could break barriers, nullify magic, and control fire as well as burn souls. In addition, there was the diamond bone, which enhanced defense and could withstand high temperatures and pressures. The more it was tempered, the tougher it would become. Xia Yan looked at his hands with great excitement. Through refining the raw energy ore in the old turtle's bones, his special ability had directly reached the peak of level 3. He never expected that the turtle's soul and the prison would have such a great enhancement on his spiritual power. Just as the young man was testing his strength, there was a clattering sound behind him. A group of people suddenly rushed forward to grab Xia Yan. "Hey, over there, who allowed you to come up here? This is a private area of the Emperor building. Not just anyone can come up. It's not some cat or dog. Seize him immediately." However, one of the men in the group felt something was wrong. "But manager, the elevators are all shut down. How on earth did he get up here?" The manager frowned, not wanting to think any further. "Damn it, what's the point of finding excuses? So many people took leave today, they've all learned to be lazy. Your entire salary for this month will be deducted for talking nonsense." The men in white followed the order, rushing towards Xia Yan. But he didn't care, just looked up at the sky. "It's here." The sky turned crimson, and lightning struck continuously. Plus the rumbling sound made everyone confused, not understanding what was happening. After a flash of light, the manager's vision blurred. Just now, a demon-like hand, a body with a monstrous face, and many legs landed and let out a roar. It was a soldier-class ox demon. In a panic, the manager shouted repeatedly, "What are you all doing? Hurry up and protect me. Do you want to be fired? Hurry up, and I'll give you all a raise." Before he could finish his sentence, he was sliced in half by the ox demon. At this point, the men in white were so scared they could only run. In chaos, while the ox demon was in a frenzy, Xia Yan even stood still, baiting it to charge at him. But before it could even touch him, he was gone, leaving the ox demon bewildered. In fact, Xia Yan had stood still and blocked its giant leg with one hand. "You want to stomp on me with just this little bit of strength? I'll use you for a little practice then." Although the ox demon only let out roars, it was quite surprised that Xia Yan seemed to understand it. "You can understand what I'm saying?" Xia Yan jumped straight up over its body, then bent his waist and flew behind it. Those men in white, after realizing they had escaped death, stood by and watched in awe. Is this real or fake? So strong, he might actually be able to destroy that monster. The ox demon was angry and roared again. "I thought the vanguards would only be these boring insects, but I didn't expect something this fun." It swung its weapon and continued. "I must savor the feeling of destroying you. Be grateful, you insect with a little bit of strength." The ox demon had truly regarded Xia Yan as an insect. The young man jumped up and even gave a confident smile. "Chopping off one of your legs was quite exhilarating. Then let me take your arm as well." While its fangs were bared menacingly, Xia Yan jumped onto its horn, then pointed one hand to the sky. He held his weapon, which was sparking with fire, then charged straight at the monster to finish it off. In agony, the ox demon's eyes turned bloodshot. "What are you trying to do, you bastard?" Xia Yan sneered. "I advise you to relax a bit to make it easier. You still have 5 legs and 1 arm, right? Let me have my fun first. You won't die that quickly anyway." The ox demon let out blood-curdling roars while fire was everywhere. "What is this? The wall-breaking day I've been waiting for so long. I haven't even destroyed any insects yet. How'd I end up like this?" At this point, the ox demon was no longer in one piece, its head in one direction, each leg and arm in another. In fact, it was a bit weaker than Xia Yan had imagined, but this was only the first one. The young man sat down, rested, and sighed in relief. The divine monsters that come after can only get stronger and stronger. He touched the ox demon's head. "Humph, hand over all your soul power yourself, and end this early, or do you still want to continue being tortured?" Even with only its head left, it was still resolute. "A soldier can be killed, but not humiliated. I will resist to the end." Suddenly, The demon-suppressing pagoda appeared with many chains, causing it to panic, its soul scattering in terror. Xia Yin was at a loss for fucking words. Oh my god, I fought it for half a day, and it still wouldn't submit. But the moment it glanced at the demon-suppressing pagoda, it was immediately scared out of its wits. After absorbing all of its soul power, Xia Yan's soul power increased by about 5%, which wasn't bad. His use of fire was also becoming more and more proficient. It was now past 7 o'clock, so the young man decided to get up. There were still a few more destinations. He only remembered the general directions, so he would have to adapt as he went. The men in white who remained were puzzled and called out loudly, "That person, no, great God, you're truly amazing. You really managed to destroy that monster. Great God, we offended you earlier. Also, may I ask, what on earth is happening?" Xia Yin didn't hide it from them. Under the crimson moonlight, he warned that the apocalypse has arrived, so you should pray for your own good fortune. Upon hearing this, they were startled. What? Great God, why don't you take us with you? Xia Yin couldn't care less. The moment they were left alone, everyone was bewildered. He's gone just like that. What do we do now? One of the men in white was pulling out a strange object, but there was something wrong with the look in his eyes. This thing can be sold for money. It's really a treasure used by the monster. Huh? He madly pulled it out of the green sludge. But suddenly something sticky was under his shoe. One of them suddenly transformed into a zombie and continuously growled, attacking everyone. Now, only cries for help remained in this place. Outside the city, there were continuous sounds of crashing. At the Song family's villa, inside the underground shelter, a person ran in to report the situation. Family head, someone else has a high fever. Song Tian was examining some antiques and appeared very calm. Move them to a separate isolation room. Do I have to tell you to do that? The young man was flustered, but the one with the fever this time is... Seeing his panicked expression, Song Tian immediately guessed it was his son. He immediately ran off in a hurry to check the situation. In an empty room with the door tightly shut, Jun, his face covered in blood, his body purplish, continuously cried for help. "Father, save me." In a panic, Song Tian yelled, "Where's the medicine? The medicine that can cure this disease. Have you still not found it?" "Sir, only one disciple took 2 Shanqing pills he had with him, and his fever has subsided a little, but he's still not fully recovered. He urgently ordered someone to bring that medicine here." Still not daring to go inside, Song Tian only dared to toss the medicine in and told his son to take it. With his strength depleted, Song Jun tried to roll and crawl to reach the few pills and put them in his mouth. His hand trembled, and as soon as he took the medicine, his body recovered instantly. "I feel much better." Song Tian was very surprised, not expecting this medicine that no one cared about to be so effective. He immediately sent people to find more Shanqing pills, but received information that no more of these Shanqing pills could be found. The entire Song family combined only had this one box. Song Tian became furious and started yelling, "Why is there only this much? Didn't I tell you to prepare medicine long ago?" The young man in brown replied, "This medicine can only treat common cases of fever and cold, and there are many other drugs on the market that can replace it. Furthermore, its price is significantly more expensive than others, so no one paid any attention to it before." Song Tian flew into a rage. "You only know how to order others around, so now go out and rob or beat people up. That's fine too. We have guns and bullets. Who the hell are we afraid of?" "But, sir, all the Shanqing Dan on the market has been bought up by a person named Xia Yin." Upon hearing this, he narrowed his eyes helplessly. "Xia Yin? Is it him? He robbed us of so much money, and he had already bought up all the Shanqing Dan before this?" The brown-haired young man said urgently, "It is indeed him. It's too chaotic outside now. Our previous underground channels are also unusable. What should the family head do now?" Song Tian was so furious he could barely breathe, repeatedly slapping his chest. How outrageous. This person also has a supernatural ability to protect himself. How can we possibly fight back now? Does our Song family really have to take this line down? Like this? Suddenly, a powerful energy emanated from Jun's room, leaving Song Tian stunned. Looking in, he saw his son brimming with power, with a light enveloping his entire body. Jun clenched his fists, suddenly feeling incredibly comfortable. "Father, it seems like all the uncomfortable things in my body have been expelled. I can feel it. I've become very strong now." After coming out with just one punch, Jun was able to knock down a wall. Song Tian was excited and guessed that his son had probably obtained a supernatural ability. Jun laughed loudly. "I'm so strong. This is the feeling of being full of power. Song Tian picked up a Shangqing Dan pill that had fallen on the floor and looked at it again. Shangqing Dan is unexpectedly so miraculous. After getting sick and taking the medicine, one can actually gain a supernatural ability. Excellent. This is too good. Let the people with symptoms take the medicine first, then observe them until they manifest supernatural abilities. These 3 boxes of medicine are probably enough to produce 3 ability users. After that, we will gather everyone and go out to rob Xia Yan's pharmaceutical warehouse. Our Song family. Once we hold the survival of the ability users in our hands, how can we not become kings? Elsewhere, teacher Bai Shirin, after taking a few pills, fainted for a while before waking up, but had a persistent headache. She didn't expect that these pills were actually effective. Her health symptoms had also completely disappeared. Looking at the medicine bag, something suddenly startled her, and she rubbed her eyes. Could she have seen it wrong? Suddenly, someone started banging loudly on the door from outside. Sister Bai, it's me. Open the door quickly and save me. She stuffed the medicine bag in her pocket and ran out. Exeter, what's wrong? Exeter was panicked, her face pale. Sister Bai, you don't know yet? It's zombies. There's zombies. Several households on our floor have all turned into zombies. Now they're all going around biting people everywhere. People attacked by zombies will also turn into zombies. My floor is a total mess right now. Save me. Please save me, sister. Bai Shirin looked very worried, and her gaze fell, but she couldn't open the door as a chain was blocking it. Outside, Exiner was trembling as she heard growling sounds coming up the stairs. In a panic, she continued to scream, "Open the door! Save me, sister! Hurry up, Sister Bai!" The rattling sounds continued, and just then, many zombies, following the noise, came up. Bai Shirin tried to stay calm while trying to open the door, but still couldn't get it open. Finally, the chain broke. "All right, get inside quickly." As soon as she stepped inside, Bai Shirin discovered bleeding scratches on Exiner's back. She closed the door, and now only the 2 of them were inside. Bai Shirin looked horrified, and Exiner also revealed her true colors. "You found me out, sister." Bai Shirin covered her mouth in horror. "You just said people injured by zombies will also turn into them?" Exiner's face began to change. "No, surely you won't let this happen to me, sister. I can still be saved if I just take Shangqing Dan. That's what they're all saying online." Sister Bai, do you have any Shangqing Dan at your place?" Bai Shirin backed away towards the door in fear. At this moment, many zombie arms reached in, writhing. There was no time. Exeter pushed Bai Shirin, causing her to lose her balance and tumble out the door. "Then I'll have to trouble my kind and beautiful sister to become food for the zombies, so I can buy some time." Exiner was outrageous, even locking Bai Shirin outside. She continuously banged on the door, calling for Exiner to open it, but to no avail. At this moment, a zombie with a blood-covered face approached. Exiner, after taking over someone else's home, spoke out with cold-blooded words. "Why should I open it? Bai Shirin, do you know how much I hate you? Why do you have to have a better family background than me? Why do you have to be born without worrying about food and clothing? And to have spare money to support me, a country girl like me? Thank you for supporting me all these years, paying for my education, feeding me, even finding me a job, treating me like a little sister. But do you know how much I hate you? I just wanted to be like others, to buy a designer bag, and you scolded me. I owe you, right? I've lived my whole life in your shadow. Do you understand?" Bai Shirin was terrified, tears streaming down her face as she spoke towards the door. Why do you think of me like that? I always helped you, is that wrong?" Exiner laughed maniacally like a demon. "Ha, it's only natural that you help me. Didn't you get your emotional validation from me anyway? Get lost, you bitch, ha. Exiner, alone in the house, looked satisfied as if she had achieved something. "I hope you get slowly eaten by the zombies, just like that. That's letting you off too easy. I hope that after the zombies leave, there'll be some scraps of your flesh left on the ground for me to stomp on for satisfaction. But what goes around comes around. With that untreated wound, you won't live either, bitch." Exiner's whole body turned pale. She looked in the mirror and saw her vain face and panicked. "No, I have to find the Shangqing Dan quickly, or I'll also become that ugly thing." She ran all over the house, but still couldn't find the medicine box. Anywhere. Just then, she grabbed a box on the table, getting excited. Shanqing Dan, great, I'm saved. But as soon as she picked it up, she discovered it was just an empty box, and all the medicine inside had been taken. Xiner growled, could that bitch have taken it all? The receipt says she bought a lot. This is great. If I find it quickly, I can survive. After rummaging for a while and still not finding it, Xiner went crazy. Why? Why can't I find it? Her hand had also transformed. At this point, she could only cover her face helplessly, speechless. Xiner's phone rang. As soon as she heard it, she knew it was a call from Baishuren. This is the ringtone I set specifically for Baishuren. How can this be? As soon as she answered the phone, Baishuren's face, filled with utter resentment, appeared. In contrast to Xiner's horrified eyes, she stammered, Sister, you're not dead. How is that possible? Baishuren said nothing, just panned down to the Shanqing Dan pills in her hand. Upon seeing it, Xiner went crazy, pressing her face right up to the phone. Shanqing Dan, you have all of it? Baishuren was no longer the same. Her eyes were sharp as a blade. Do you want it? Xiner drooled covetously. Haha, Sister Bai. Just now I was just being foolish for a moment. I was bitten by a zombie. I was so scared my mind went blank. I didn't know what I was doing. Sister, where are you? Can I come find you? You'll give me the medicine, right? If you're still angry, I'll kowtow to you, really. Just like that, Xiner repeatedly slammed her head on the ground so Baishuren could hear the sound. You're a good person. Please forgive me. Her mouth said this, but Xiner's heart remained incredibly vicious. Baishuren is soft-hearted. As long as I beg, she definitely won't have the heart to refuse. To give me the Shanqing Dan.